सेव किया था ना?
मैं सिर्फ इसलिए गया था क्योंकि उसने मुझे कॉल किया, that's it. But listen तो.
Save it for someone else.
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो, सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा। इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Narendra Modi's challengers, whether divided, united, fortified or turbocharged, cannot dream of defeating him next year unless they have that one big idea. If India, the alliance, thinks that a nationwide Bihar-style caste census is that one big idea, I'd give them a reality check. In fact, I'll take some liberties with the immortal lines of late Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Remember, he said, what Bengal thinks today, India thinks tomorrow. So I will take liberties with that, twist it a bit and say what Bihar thinks today, Bihar used to think the day before yesterday. So don't think that what Bihar thinks today, India will think tomorrow. No, what Bihar thinks today is what Bihar used to think the day before yesterday. The Bihar social justice movement had succeeded in placing political power at the feet of the subaltern classes by 1990. It hasn't progressed since then and never even endeavored to take the next steps towards larger economic empowerment, widening opportunities and improving the lives of its people. This Bihar model would be a very sad and tired offering to all of India. It worked in Bihar in the past, and once again, if all subaltern forces come together, in this case against the BJP, it may dent Modi's prospects, but only in the state of Bihar, where the BJP won all of 17 seats, 17 seats by itself in 2019. How far can you reduce that? By 5, 10, 12, like that. To be fair, to defeat Modi with this strategy, you don't need to paint the entire country in the colors of Bihar. You only need to do so in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra and maybe Haryana and Uttarakhand. A close look at the caste breakup and traditional loyalties in any of these states will tell you that if this census is the revolution, this caste census is the revolution you were waiting for, it will not cross the borders of the state where it originated in 1967 and has mostly stayed there, that is the state of Bihar. Why must you rely on my views, arguments and even biases if smart people are already calling it a revolution and Rahul Gandhi has also endorsed the late Kanshi Ram's original idea, jiski jitni sankhya bhari, uski utni hissedari, loosely translated, to each a share according to their population, or in short, proportionate representation. Now, we know what they did to a country called Lebanon, but that's an issue that we'll discuss at some other point later. Now, let's look at some facts from the 2019 elections and see where we go from there. As a detailed article by Amog Rometra from the Print Political Bureau showed, in 2019, the Modi-Shah BJP had secured more than 50% of the vote in 224 Lok Sabha seats. You can see the map on your screen. That leaves them just 49 shy of a clear majority. 224 out of 543, another 49, they are at 273. Irrespective of which side you are on, you would see the degree of difficulty in turning that strong a tide. A state-wise breakdown of these 224 will make the challenge look even tougher. The BJP got more than 50% of the vote in half of all the seats in Uttar Pradesh, that is 40 out of 80. And this is the state whose caste breakup, opportunities and Muslim vote percentage are almost similar, or in fact most similar to Bihar's compared to any other state. That is, once again to repeat, 40 seats out of 80. In Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Karnataka, the other major states Modi relies on, this number was 23, 25, 26 and 22 seats respectively. It's almost as if he swept almost all the seats in these states, getting more than 50% of the vote. This adds up to 136 seats out of 188 with more than 50%. What we are not adding at this point is that many of the remaining seats, so 136 out of 188, Modi and BJP won by more than 50% vote. Many of the rest, that is many of the remaining 52 also, they won, albeit with less than 50% vote percentage. But right now, for our argument and discussion, It is the 50% plus mark that is important because that tells you what a tall mountain you have to climb if you want to defeat Narendra Modi. Is a caste census the idea that will make so many tens of millions desert Modi, tens of millions of voters? The degree of difficulty for Modi's challengers lies in three facts. One, that he sweeps these states so comprehensively, both in seats and percentages, that it becomes nearly impossible to beat him. It is almost like Steve Waugh's Australians in their prime who scored so much in their first innings and so quickly that the match was over already. Second, unlike the Congress party post 1989, Modi is no innocent at playing the backward class/caste card, pitching himself in front as an OBC. And the third is that subaltern caste plus Muslim politics works only as long as you can win an election with just over 30% of the votes or thereabouts, as used to be the case in the Hindi heartland in the past, in the pre-Modi past. If the other side, under Modi that is, the BJP, is beginning with 50% plus now, it is a steep mountain to climb. And to scale this mountain, you need better hauling power, hooks, footholds and ropes than a mere caste census or a stirring but outdated Kashiram war cry. It is nobody's case that Kashiram wasn't a genius or a political visionary. It is just that he was a phenomenon for his time. The times have now changed. The backward and scheduled castes and minorities' need for political empowerment was desperate in the 80s. In the 80s, as the Congress was declining, it made an incredible and lasting impact. It transformed our politics, and we can say that some of the objectives have already been achieved. India has an OBC Prime Minister and a tribal president, while 3 of the Congress party's 4 chief ministers are OBCs. You can't assess the prospects of somebody challenging this wave without examining why so many of these other caste voters moved into Modi's BJP. It is widely believed, and I share that belief as well because of so many exit polls confirming it with data, that the upper castes are the most secure vote bank in India at this point of time, and the BJP has it. One good thing the Bihar census has done, however, is to demonstrate how small this vote bank is. If you add all the Hindu upper castes counted in Bihar, the total comes to just about 12% of the population. Let's take this argument further and say the upper castes make up 15% of the larger voter base, particularly in the states where the BJP really needs to max out to get that majority. The BJP's total vote share in 2019 election was a little over 37%. So where did the remaining 22% come from? Even if they got all the upper caste Hindu vote, they got the 22% on top of that from somewhere. And further, from where did they get that 50 plus percentage in 224 seats? Those numbers were achieved only because the middle and the lower caste Hindus walked out of the Mandal Kanshiram trenches and voted for Modi. Can the opposition bring them back now with the promise of a caste census and a proportionate share of the spoils? And if so, which spoils? Since Bihar is the epicenter of the idea, what does that state have to offer to its voters, even after it has told them that 63% of you are other backward castes? What does it have to offer them? Whatever their caste, it has no jobs in the government, no spare cash to launch new schemes, no industry, no service sector, not even a growing state-funded education sector where jobs could be found. Now, RJD leader Tejashwi Yadav is fond of promising reservations in the private sector. Great idea. But where and what is the private sector in Bihar? Unless you are talking about bootlegging. I'm sorry if that looks like a cheap shot. A caste census is an important, useful and necessary idea, and one whose time has come. My limited argument today is that it isn't the killer political idea that it is made out to be. It doesn't have enough sex appeal to win back the voters that caste-based parties lost to the BJP, and it would consolidate the BJP's upper caste vote further anyway. It's been nearly 4 decades now since Mandal and Kanshiram rose. Mandal report, Mandal political forces and Kanshiram rose. India has changed phenomenally since then, mostly for the better. The contribution of those ideas in enlarging India's talent base can be seen everywhere. This success has also empowered the new generations of the same social classes to aspire to more than a mere peon or a clerk's job. A caste census can help the government design better, fairer policies, but its oomph will be way weaker in this era of aspiration than it was in the epoch of grievance. Does it mean the opposition has no answer to Modi? Should they just surrender, throw in the towel and concede victory? No, that is not the idea. That most certainly isn't my case. It is just that you need something bigger, more distinctive, positive, optimistic. Or in marketing terms, something that creates real brand or product distinction or differentiation. The ideas Rahul Gandhi propounded earlier, Bharat Jodo and Mohabbat Ki Dukaan, checked some of these boxes. Why he is now jumping from that more virtuous boat or more interesting boat to a tired old idea is intriguing. Why go from new ideas that make you a clear ideological and political counter to the incumbent and lapse back into what we might describe as the unbearable laziness of political ideas?